Kristin Smart was the typical California girl. She was a surfer. She loved the beach.
Probably about 67 out. The sun's going down, and I should have been here earlier.
Kristin Smart was a freshman at Cal Poly.
It was Memorial Day weekend in 1996, and the students who stayed on campus were blowing off steam.
Kristin Smart was hanging with a friend of hers, Margarita Campos. Kristin wanted to go to another party.
But her friend didn't want to go with her.
She went to the party by herself, and that was the last time I saw her.
So as the party progresses, one of the guys who was throwing the party, Tim, he saw Kristin Smart laying face down in the grass, basically intoxicated or drugged to the point of passed out. Cheryl Anderson knew where Kristin's dorm was, so she volunteered to start walking Kristin up to her dorm.
A fellow freshman from the party says, "I know where she lives, and I can help get her home." So Cheryl peels off, and he says that he will continue and he'll make sure that Kristin gets home. That is the last time anyone saw Kristin Smart alive.
Well, in Kristin's case, I think pretty quickly you realize something's wrong. It's not adding up.
Her roommates knew something was very wrong when she didn't come home.
Well, initially the Cal Poly police basically said that it was very likely she had just gone out of town, gone camping.
I went to bed that night and I just prayed, be camping, because I kept calling her dorm.
Just kills me to think about in that moment when my sister disappeared, how no one would take her seriously. People turned around, they're like, she's just on vacation.
It wasn't until Kristin didn't show up to class and the girls made a second report that Cal Poly actually filed a missing persons report and began their investigation.
The most critical time when a person is missing or there's been a commission of a crime is those first 24 to 48 hours.
I think that the challenge with a small university police department is they lack the number of investigators or the experience to conduct an investigation, particularly in the beginning stages of the investigation.
The president of Cal Poly apologized to the Smart family in 2023, saying in part, "We recognize that things should have been done differently, and I personally wish that they had."
Today, every field, every patch of brush, and every rolling hill was scoured by law enforcement officers. Still no sign of 19-year-old Kristin Smart.
The investigator for the campus police, they were saying, you know, we've run out of leads. And I said, no, you have to go to the last people that saw her alive.
Police have been told that the last person to get Kristin home or to be seen with her is this freshman called Paul Flores. He tells the police that he saw Kristin walk away toward her dorm and that he went to his.
Yeah, you're grasping this, that this is very serious business with a missing woman and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're aware of all this.
I'm aware of this.
5 weeks after Kristin Smart disappeared, law enforcement bring cadaver dogs to Paul Flores' dorm.
4 different cadaver dogs were separately brought to the Santa Lucia dorm. They almost immediately went right to room 128, Paul Flores' dorm.
The dog alerted to the corner of the mattress and it was a very intense alert.
Police want to talk to Paul again. This time, they're recording it on video.
If she's not alive anymore, what do you think happened? I would say like someone who she hitchhiked with or something, abducted her or something, you know. Why would she be hitchhiking? Well, I'm saying, you know, people said they saw her hitchhiking.
Flores also told conflicting stories about how he got a black eye. First, he says he got it playing basketball, and later saying he hid it on the steering wheel of his truck.
Well, you lied to us, though, right? Oh, it's not really lies, the fib. It's so minute. It's not. Well, I guess you can call it like a little white lie, but. How you got your black eye is a white lie? Yep.
And then they say to him, you know, we'd really like you to take a polygraph. And all of a sudden, he changes his tune.
I told you I had to talk to my parents, so.
Well, if you're telling us the truth, why do you have to talk to your parents?
Because I do.
Paul walks out, ends the interview, and that is the last time that Paul is interviewed by police in the case of Kristin Smart.
At this point, law enforcement has something, but not necessarily enough for an arrest of Paul Flores. For years, 1.5 decades, nothing happens. And it's not until a new sheriff by the name of Sheriff Ian Parkinson gets involved and says, I vow to find the answers.
Sometimes a new set of eyes looking at something, you'll see something a little differently, and maybe that's our break.
The appetite from the public for news of this case has always been there. It really ramped up when Chris Lambert began releasing episodes of his Your Own Backyard podcast.
Chris Lambert wasn't someone with an investigative background like a news reporter. He was a music producer, a musician.
A woman I spoke to strongly suspects that she was drugged by Paul. At least one woman believes that Paul drugged her after she had already consented to having sex with him.
Chris did come up with, a couple of really good leads and witnesses for us.
We were in the process of doing a wiretap and investigating and moving this case along at the same time.
Police now serve a search warrant on Paul Flores' San Pedro home.
A possible break in a 23-year-old cold case, the disappearance of Kristin Smart.
On his electronics, they find a folder labeled Practice, which contains what authorities say was homemade pornography, allegedly showing Paul sexually assaulting women who are unconscious.
Authorities executing several search warrants.
That search didn't result in charges, but the investigation never stopped.
In 2021, police get a search warrant to not only search the father's house, but to dig up the backyard, specifically under the porch. And police bring in these experts using ground-penetrating radar.
We found what appeared to be staining that was consistent with human decomposition. We collected soil samples, and because there were dark clumps of sand within these decomp stainings, and we later discovered that that was human blood.
They also found fibers of clothing in colors that matched what Kristin was wearing the last day she was seen alive.
There's enough circumstantial evidence. Law enforcement believes we have enough to go before a jury. We have enough to arrest this man.
The San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office arrested 44-year-old Paul Flores this morning.
His father, Ruben Flores, was also arrested as an accomplice to the crime, under the belief that he might have helped his son cover up the crime after the fact.
After a 12-week trial, Paul Flores was found guilty of murdering Kristin Smart.
He murdered Kristin with zero remorse or concern.
While his father, Ruben Flores, was acquitted.
When they said guilty, I did get a high.
On all charges, yeah.
Yeah, and a sense of relief that justice was finally here.
Well, the story, unfortunately, isn't over. And it will never be over until they find Kristin.
We had unfinished business. Kristin wasn't with her family.
I think finding Kristin's remains will help my parents sleep better at night.
Right around the 30th anniversary of Kristin's death, police went back to the house of her killer's mother, Susan Flores, and dug up her yard, looking for Kristin.
Paul Flores' mother has never been charged or even accused of anything associated with Kristin Smart.
We had developed enough probable cause to go back to Susan Flores' house on Branch Street and execute a search warrant.
Authorities excavated her yard and tested the soil with ground-penetrating radar.
We believe that a human remains were there at one time or still there. So we can't call it Kristin, but we think there's evidence to support human remains.
We have still some analysis to do. I'm not stopping until this is over, until we have Kristin back.
One thing that I could tell Paul Flores and the Flores family, we will never stop. We will never stop until justice is served.